relationship genesis, in the relationship arc, video number 27 or something now. So the second agreement, the don't hold anyone accountable to agreements they haven't made. First of all, it's fundamentally unjust. You might say, well, people pass laws all the time, and yes, but you can read those laws, and we have elected representatives who have approved them for you or voted for them for you. You really, maybe I should say, don't hold people accountable to agreements they're unaware of. But the truth is, we hold people accountable to agreements they haven't made all the time and expectations that they're unaware of. And not only is it unjust, it just sets up a weird dynamic. And you can tell if you're doing that or not by if you're using the word should. Well, they should know that blah, blah, blah. Or everybody knows that, no, they don't, first of all. No, they shouldn't necessarily. And I have it that relationship is actually a process of getting to know each other. Over however long it lasts. It could last your whole lifetime, but you're still getting to know each other in different situations, in different contexts, in terms of your preferences, your desires, your values, all those things. So it's actually a process of educating each other. Some transracial communities use the word training, like training your partner or training a man or training. I don't particularly care for that term because I think it's slightly demeaning, but educating them is actually more accurate. Also, you want to educate them around what is important to you. So it has to be a process of communication. By the way, if you wonder why a lot of people talk about mindful relationships and conscious relationships and very few people do them, it takes a lot of fucking communication. And I don't mean processing. I mean, it actually just takes hey, you probably don't know this. It's a matter of educating each other. And God help you if you have a language barrier. And if you think that you don't have a language barrier because you have the same birth language and you speak the same primary language, yeah, surprise! Because people have different meanings that they attach to different words, even if they grew up in the same culture and they're of the same language, the same birth language. So you don't hold anyone accountable to an agreement they haven't made. It allows for the most freedom, the most cleanliness, and allows you to free yourself from other people shaming you. By the way, if you feel like you've done something wrong, often that means they're holding you accountable to an agreement you haven't made. Now, it could be that they don't approve of it, but they don't necessarily want to limit your behavior, but they're working through it. That's fine too. But you don't hold anyone accountable to an agreement they have not made. And that means you make no assumptions. And you have to make, hey, I'd like you to open my door for me. Or, hey, I'd like you to not open my door for me. Or, would you agree to that? Or, hey, I would like to, approve of your, I would like us to make, certain decisions in partnership. And here's what that looks like. Here's what that means. I want to make sure you talk about the actual observable behavior. Because if you don't, then they're going to guess and they're going to think that they're fulfilling a certain value of yours when they're actually not, because you haven't been clear. And because as the communicator, it's your responsibility to make sure they understand. Not if you say, well, they didn't get it. What that means is you're A, being lazy, 2, you're blaming them for your lack of facility with communicating it clearly enough, and you're giving all your power away. It's probably a good way to talk about power versus force. And choice. Those three things. We'll get into those concepts later. So don't hold anyone accountable to an agreement they have not made. If you're noticing that you're upset, also, you make a request, and then you are making a request essentially for a new agreement based on something that's important to you. We talked about the skillful means in terms of how to do that. I didn't use that phrase, but the skillful means and how to do that when we talked about values and forms when I was exhausted yesterday in previous 2 videos. But that's the second and a touch on the third agreement. Yeah. And again, this is how you set yourself up for success. Have you ever been in a relationship and nobody's clear about what's expected and you're not sure what they want, and this is how to solve that problem. This is how to, you know, this is the salve for that ache. This is the solution to that lifelong, like, I can't believe I'm having this experience. Yes, well, we all have it. Here's how to not have it in the future. And if you'd like to not have that experience in the future, being held accountable to agreements you haven't made, and having people ghost you because then you need to create a space for them to be able to express it. That's something I forgot to cover in the previous video around hearing the truth and telling the truth. I'm going to make that an addendum to this. All right, that's the second agreement. To hold anyone accountable to agreements they have not made.